Hi, today we're going to look at Hollywood Orchestra's Opus Edition. Hi, I'm Euan, welcome to Euan Smith Music and welcome back to another video. I'm going to be looking at the Opus edition of Hollywood Orchestra by East West Sounds, and I'm going to show you exactly how my experience was in terms of setting it up, the differences, and also a first look very quickly at the Hollywood Orchestrator. Now, because of some of the teething problems that I've had with installation, I'm going to be doing Hollywood Orchestrator probably as a separate video, so do look out for that. Make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to the channel to be notified when you are going to be able to watch that. Let's dive in, let's have a look and see what all the fuss is about. Okay, so on my screen I have basically got two windows open. I've got the installation center just to show you. If you were anything like me, you'll see that the Hollywood Opus Edition files are a bit of a hodgepodge order because I had all my files on various hard disks, which you can see just here on the right hand side of the window. So that caused a bit of confusion for our poor old installation center when I first set it up. So I've actually got a dedicated drive for the Opus instruments just purely because I wanted a way of being able to keep things together but also keep things separate as well, and that did cause an interesting start to proceedings. So we're going to have a look first of all at Hollywood Brass. Then basically there are so many good sounds that I could show you right now. They've really improved the quality of some of these. You can now audition each of the different sounds that you want to do. Yeah, I love the fact that you can now audition each of these tracks. So before you even load it, you can actually do that. One other good thing that just before we dive in is the setting options that you can have. So you can set your preferences to be able to tell the Opus Edition what kind of storage, so where it's going to be a SSD hard drive or SSD PCIe slot. So you've got loads of really cool options on there, and it just helps to optimize the loading experience. So I'll give an example. So let's just show legato slur on max, and I'm just going to quick load and I'm going to just add in this. You'll see how the speed of it loading in real time for me is boom, it's instant. And so you've got solo instruments as well, they have been upgraded, and again near instant loading. Fabulously tasty. Again, I could go around all these sounds, but those will be for you to explore. I've got some favourite ones. I do like the brass and I do like some of the solo strings. They really do have a really good uplift compared to what they were before. So without further ado, let's have a look at the Orchestrator. So on the screen, the Orchestrator is just found amidst all of the other Hollywood instruments. You can see this here, and I'm going to show you my experience because basically some of the Orchestrator instruments work and some of them don't seem to be as responsive for me. So I'm basically just going to cheat just because I'm using a system version of Opus. I'm not using it through a digital audio workspace. I just want to show you what it is like in standalone mode. So you can see you've got here the Hollywood Orchestrator selected, and you can obviously through the browser tab you can select various presets. Now when I select the strings long, if I just go into big legato wide, when I double click it does take a little bit of time to respond, but it does actually respond, and this is what we can hear now. Now again, because it's relatively new to me, by playing more than one note doesn't seem to work. I don't know if it's something I have not set up correctly. Again, if you want to let me know in the comments below what you think, indeed what your experiences of using Hollywood Orchestrator are. So in terms of that, you can only really use single notes. So we'll go back to trying a bit more. So let's have a look at a different set of presets then. I'm going to go into Brass Short and I'm going to choose Marcato Basic and see if this loads. Now, it seems to load okay. Now oddly, performance-wise, you can hear I'm getting chords out of these brass. Now, this is just maybe because of the articulation that I've chosen. It's worth considering that with your system, things might just be in their earlier stages. I know there has been some teething problems with Orchestrator. I actually uninstalled it and reinstalled it using the installation center, and it hasn't changed any of the performances. With Hollywood Orchestrator, you can see that it is activated. You can see it's all here, and I have double and triple checked everything here. I've uninstalled it, I've reinstalled it, I've downloaded and reinstalled it, I've done every combination. But when you get to this, and let me show you now, if I go to full ensemble long and I go to, let's say, sustain full, and I double click this one, there is no response at all. Things are in their earliest infancy when it comes to Hollywood Orchestrator. I'm not so worried too much because I'm using the individual sounds and I'm making my own compositions. I'm not so worried about Orchestrator as a feature for now, although it would have been nice for it to have worked straight out of the box. So looking back then at the rest of the sounds, we can go into solo violin. Solo violin hasn't really changed overly much, I don't think. The key switches are working pretty well. It loads really nicely. I tended to use an octave jump here just to help me with the key switches. The legato patches are something which I've really enjoyed playing with, so let's have a quick look at those. If we go into the longs, something quite nice happens here. Let's have a quick look at the woodwind and the others as well. Interesting how the decision to keep the old Diamond libraries and also the Opus instruments, it may be something that I have to look at and re-look at again. By the way, if you're wondering how I do these interesting split screen transitions, I'm doing these in real time. So these are actually done using an app called Switcher Studio, details of which can be found below. If you actually use the code Euan30 at the link below, bit.ly/getswitcherstudio, you'll be able to have a whole 30 days free of the app, purely for iOS, to have as multiple angles for you to film whatever live streaming you would like, or any pre-recorded videos that you would like as well. There's a new channel that I've started up called the Switcher Studio Musician, where I go into this in more depth, so if you would like to, please check out the links below for the subscription link, and I would love to see you over there because it would be brilliant for you to be part of that. And if you would like to be part of live streaming mobile success, it's a Facebook group. I also will leave a link for that in the description below. I think you will enjoy that massively as well. So that remains for me to say is just a quick look and a first impression of the new Opus Hollywood Orchestra edition. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe. There'll be many more of these, and I look forward to seeing you over my various other links as well. Do check out the description below for more information and a plethora of opportunities for you to be part of mobile live streaming, of some of the equipment that I have used, and also look forward to seeing you in the next video as well. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. And imagine that with an expression mod wheel and things like that, really could go to town with that too. So that's a very quick peek at what would be quite an incredible sounding suite of new Opus instruments, both in terms of solo instruments as well as the ensemble instruments.